From Russia's strongest naval outpost to the CIA personal prisons, here are the most heavily guarded military bases.
Hey guys, this is your host, American Eye. Are you ready for an action-packed video today? Well, we got one for you right here, so stay tuned.
Number 12. Devil's Tower Camp. The land of Gibraltar was signed over to Spain under the Treaty of Utrecht in 1713, and it was an extremely important naval base for the British ever since. It's also heavily guarded, and it provides unique training for paratroopers, diving experts, and even tunnel warfare. This strategic base is located at the Strait of Gibraltar, which is the only way to enter from the west into the Mediterranean Sea. It's known as Devil's Tower Camp, and an extensive tunnel system is believed to exist. Gibraltar is also home to the Gibraltar Squadron, which boasts some of the Royal Navy's most advanced ships. It's near the border of Spain in case they decide to do a little bit of land grabbing. When the UK decided to leave the EU, more secure boundaries were built, and it led to the Spaniards wanting to reclaim the land. Number 11. Sevastopol. The Soviets had their fair share of strange military bases, and in this photo, we see the blue and green waters of this base, located under the city of Sevastopol in the Black Sea. Western countries don't want to get too close to this base because the Black Sea Fleet is stationed right here. This formerly classified sub-base was in full use up until 1993, and it certainly had the capability of putting nuclear subs into the Mediterranean Sea. After the Russians occupied the Crimean Peninsula, they militarized it right away in the case of a counterattack. The Russians called this place Balaklava, and there was plenty of munitions stored here. The Black Sea Fleet, which sits at the harbor, comprises of 25,000 troops, 45 warships, and 6 submarines. A lot of those submarines likely have nuclear weapons on there. Let's see if Ukraine still wants their land back now. Number 10. Guantanamo Bay. This United States military detention camp is located on seized land from Cuba during the Spanish-American War. It's also used as a naval base and has been under investigation for human rights violations. This photo here shows Camp Delta, which contains spotlights, a bunch of barbed wire, and guard towers. A separate facility at the naval base is used to store high-security detainees that were all once held by the CIA. From 2003 to 2006, the CIA utilized a part of Guantanamo, which housed prisoners, who they would try to recruit spies against Al-Qaeda. It would definitely not be an easy prison to escape from, and not a fun place to get stationed at, unless you like waterboarding, of course. Number 9. Fort Tetrick. Unlike most on this list, this one is a military scientific facility, but no one will exactly tell you what goes on inside. It's heavily guarded as well, with 7,800 military, federal, and contractor employees. This facility in Maryland contains biological warfare testing, and it's certainly capable of starting a full-blown zombie apocalypse with a variety of germs inside. Basically, this is where the government experiments with horrific diseases such as Ebola and anthrax, and who knows what else. There's over 800 military and civilian scientists working on a possible way to spread horrific diseases if necessary. They're said to do a little bit more productive work as well, and find vaccines and analyze anthrax spores that were mailed during 9/11. However, it might be hard to contain all the chemicals used at this facility, and many people who live nearby have seriously questioned the tap water quality. Number 8. Wright Patterson Air Force Base. Wright Patterson Air Force Base might be home to some evidence of extraterrestrial life, according to many UFOologists. Various reports would suggest that crashed UFO from New Mexico were sent to this Air Force Base during the Roswell and Aztec crashes. The military allegedly took what was left of the spacecraft and the alien remains to the nearby radar station for experimentation. Afterwards, it's rumored that all the evidence was taken to Wright Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Other Soviet aircraft crash retrievals during the Korean War have been examined here, and scientists would do their best to reverse engineer what was discovered. There's rumor that alien aircraft, though, is still being stored here at the heavily guarded Hangar 18 inside a refrigeration unit, according to the researcher Thomas J. Carey. Number 7. Yongsan Garrison. Located in the heart of the capital of South Korea, where over 11 million people live, is the Yongsan Garrison. It supports a population of a small city of about 23,000 people, some of which are the offsprings of the soldiers stationed here. In any case, though, it would be a tough obstacle to overcome if you were an invading army. This is the biggest U.S. military base in South Korea, and it was formerly used by the Japanese as a headquarters for the Imperial Army. Due to tensions in the north, the U.S. decides to support their allies in case of a full-blown invasion. Although it doesn't seem like there's a ton of fortification at this base, it seems pretty clear that there is an extremely large amount of armed soldiers. You can tell from this photo here that there's plenty of space to conduct training. Number 6. Pine Gap, Australia. Australia's secret spy base, located in the middle of the outback, has stayed out of public eyes for quite a long time. It's a lot like the Australian version of Area 51, which means you won't be getting into this base anytime soon. It turns out this base is an important intelligence gathering location operated by the US and Australia. This is in a team effort to track down terrorism and track down nuclear threats from places like North Korea. It's been in operation since the 1970s, and it's called the Joint Defense Facility. As you can tell from this sign, you're not allowed to come here. Try to go past it and see what happens. Much of what goes on here will be surrounded in secrecy, and what we do know is only the tip of the iceberg. We're unaware of any security breaches, so it's safe to say it's heavily guarded. Number 5. Diego Garcia. This tiny island in the Indian Ocean was originally a part of the British Empire until 1968, and now you're only allowed to go if you work for the military or as a part of their contractors. The US and the UK decided to kick out all the inhabitants using horrific intimidation tactics and sent them off to live in Africa and the Seychelles. After the expulsion of over 1,000 Chagosians, the US built a massive naval and air base right here. Due to the exclusion of the island, there's also been much mystery surrounding what goes on here. Some also believe the CIA uses this as a secret prison where they torture people that are being detained. WikiLeaks revealed documents of the US and the UK conspiring to declare areas around it as environmental reserves in order to keep out the natives who want to come back. Number 4. Cheyenne Mountain. If the government was looking for a place to hide during the zombie apocalypse, this would be the perfect place to go. Keep in mind, public tours are not available because you can't go there. Cheyenne Mountain is often referred to as the Fortress of America. The complex is almost like a small city underneath 2,000 feet of solid granite rock and is basically the biggest and baddest nuclear bunker ever made. There's far more armed guards and security here than the Pentagon. It was built to defend against nuclear blasts from the Soviet Union. Any air, space, or missile threats to America are detected at Cheyenne Mountain. Some of the blast doors inside the facility are made of 3 feet of solid steel. The command center was eventually revealed that cost $14 million to produce, which monitors all civilian aircraft in North America. Although a few things about this facility have been revealed, don't expect to get past the Stryker vehicle to find out what else is going on. Number 3. Kadena Air Base, Okinawa. The island of Okinawa is a part of Japanese territory and is located halfway between Taiwan and the mainland of Honshu. It's the largest U.S. Air Force base in the Far East. Many might not think of Japan as being home to such pristine tropical beaches, but the entire prefecture of Okinawa is quite beautiful for many history lovers, snorkelers, and swimmers alike. But still, there stands a heavily guarded military base in the closest proximity to China, and over 50,000 military personnel are stationed there. Many Okinawans were surveyed, and 71% stated that the presence of the Marines on Okinawa was necessary. Number 2. Kumpusin Yar. Often referred to as Russia's Area 51, this military base is located near the Crimean Sea and was the site where many missile launches took place. The Soviet Union established this base in 1946, and many tests soon followed in 1947, which was actually one of 11 A-4 missiles that were stolen from Germany at the end of WW2. By the time 1959 came around, it was the only publicly known Soviet missile testing range. It began to escalate once it became the site of atmospheric nuclear testing and possibly visitors from another planet. A secret city was constructed near the base known as Zamenensk, which is closed off to the public. You probably shouldn't get close to this base unless you can pretend that you're some kind of KGB agent. The city looks like it's closed off with a fence and likely to be strictly monitored with satellites or drones in any case. And number 1, Fort Knox. Fort Knox is equipped with the strongest, most up-to-date technology in order to secure gold supplies. It's surrounded by landmines, machine guns, and electric fences. The military base uses radar to detect any trespassers, and they're not afraid to show off that they got armed guards on watch at all times. The building itself is made of 16,000 cubic feet of granite, 750 tons of reinforced steel, and 4,200 cubic yards of concrete. It's rumored to be able to withstand a direct hit from a nuclear bomb. You might be allowed to stand outside the gates and take a photo, but no one is allowed inside. The door that locks up the gold weighs 22 tons of a classified blast-proof material. We also mentioned that the surveillance system can spy on every square foot of land, so good luck getting in.
Whoa, now that was a crazy video. Be sure to check out more of our videos right here on American Eye. We got hundreds of them, so watch them.